You're speaking for the entire generation.
I love it. I love it.
You're speaking for the entire generation. Like, what are some things that you are seeing in the workplace that may make it challenging for younger people? So, ma'am, how have you been, Miss Myia Bacon?
Hi. Hey.
So how have you been, man? It's been a while. All that good stuff.
Oh my gosh, I've been living. I've been living. Especially in this economy, we've been living. But for the most part, I'm still here. I'm still grinding.
Got you.
Every day is an opportunity. Something new. Something to get into.
So I seen you did some pretty cool stuff. I saw at one point you did some like modeling, kind of like or a pageant. Or
yes, that was my little pageant modeling era. When I was about like 10 pounds lighter. It don't look like it, but 10 pounds lighter. That was actually super fun. I would say I was taking like pictures and stuff and kind of like put myself out there just because for the fun of it. I did a pageant. I want to say it was Miss International pageant.
Wow.
I think I've won, but they wanted to go to Florida, so I was like, that's a little expensive. So we're gonna like down our bag, but it was pretty fun. I didn't realize how much I actually liked pageants until I was in one. I'm like, prancing around on stage, a little shimmy. So that was pretty fun.
Also, it looked fun. I mean, like you was doing your thing in your zone, because I know you did some singing and stuff like that before you pass and all that good stuff. Okay. All right, cool. So, one of the main purposes we come here today, we want to be able to kind of talk about Gen Z and millennials and kind of some of the challenges that, y'all young people kind of deal with now. Because now, how old are you?
I'm 25.
You're 25.
I'll be 26 this year. So off the insurance.
Oh, that is that is crazy. Yeah. 25.
I'm 25 this year.
Wow, that's crazy. So what are you like? Are you still with your mom and dad right now?
Right now I moved out, so I'm back in right now. But I'm in the process, like far as buying a home, that kind of thing.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
So it's a long process, but hopefully we can get there.
What are you going through, like a program or what?
So my realtor actually. So I'm working through her. So she's kind of looking at different places. I'm working on a plan to try to get me out of there, because I'll be 26. I gotta go.
Wow. Now, did you ever go to school? Did you go to school? Or you didn't?
So I went to Midlands Tech when I first graduated high school in 2018. Unfortunately, I was goofing around, so I stopped.
Listen. I've had plenty of goofing around, and I went to school, and that's it. Like that was it. I didn't come back home with nothing. Like that was it. Like, but a bunch of good stories. That's what I came home with.
But I think now I'm transitioning. I'm like, okay, let's go back with more focus. So I'm doing everything online. I'm doing cybersecurity. So.
Oh really? Yeah. You're literally the third person
really
that I've spoken with this week. Yeah, within a week that said that they're doing cybersecurity.
Yeah, that's a good field.
Wow. So are you into like technology, computer type stuff?
Yes and no. So like the coding side of it, not at all. Please don't let me code nothing. But I wanted to become like a digital forensics. Okay. So I wanted be able to hack into stuff, be nosy, look at people's computers. Like I was like, yes, that sounds just like me. Like if I can steal somebody's phone, computer, let me do it and get paid.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, Myia, that's funny. So what type of work are you doing right now, if you don't mind me asking?
So right now I work from home, so I'm doing tech support. So that's slow burn. It has its perks, but it's for experience. So
is it okay? Now, how is that working from home experience? Like, is it like, do you feel like you're at work, or do you just feel like you're home all day?
So it has its perks. I'll say I'll have to get dressed. I don't do my hair, raggedy. Unfortunately, to get yelled at in your own house is actually insane, because why would you yell at me right now? And then I work in the healthcare field as well. So it's for doctors and kind of thing.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how many people don't know how to refresh a browser or click Google Chrome, or I'm like,
I would not be surprised, because I'm one of them.
Oh God.
It's like this whole podcasting process is I'm learning a lot.
Really? But you're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good.
Yeah. So okay. So since we're on the work thing, so like kind of talk to me, like what type of because we met at Chick-fil-A,
yes.
all that good stuff back in your baby days, you know.
Ooh, buddy,
so,
some big eyebrows. Yo, yeah, that was great. It was great.
Now that's funny.
That was an error. Okay.
Hey, we all learn. It's okay. We all learn. So I know you did the Chick-fil-A thing. Now, where did you what other type of experiences did you have after that?
So from there, I went on to like insurance verification for a dermatology office, which I absolutely love.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
And then from there, I think I went work for Blue Cross.
Yeah.
That was interesting experience.
So and all of these were physical, like you were physically there. Okay.
And then from there, I had my first work from home job. I worked back to medical records, that kind of thing. So kind of stayed with the healthcare field. And then from there, from this job. So yeah, it's kind of
wow. So sounds like you got some different type of experiences and things, and that's what a lot of. But that's one of the things that I kind of notice about like Gen Zs and well, really all of us. We kind of dibble and dabble in different areas until we kind of find something we like or find something that doesn't bore us, you know.
That part right
so within so okay, well I just kind of throw it out there. So statistically, Gen Zs are kind of having some challenges. So they right now statistically, and the reason why I really want to bring you on is to get your perspective. You're speaking for the entire generation.
I love it.
You're speaking for the entire generation. So I kind of want to be able to hear what are some things that you are seeing in the workplace that may make it challenging for younger people. So one of the hot topics is workplace bullying. Is one of the things that are out there because so many different generations, age gaps. So many. It's a really big age gap in the workplace right now. Yeah. So have you had any challenges with workplace bullying or intimidation or anything like that?
I would say that why I left kind of Blue Cross. Anyway.
Got you.
It wasn't much more of an intimidation kind of thing, but more of if I'm under older, I would say older women, especially older Black women, I've realized.
Got you.
They kind of want to have more, I want to say a humbling kind of thing, but make sure you know your place in a way. And so for me, I'm okay with everybody. I'm cool. Right. I'm a bubbly kind of person. Right. So for me, and especially when I see that kind of stuff going on in the workplace or it's done to other people, it makes me very upset. I'm just no, I have to speak up about it because if you could do that to somebody else, you could do that to me. Right. Regardless, if it's directed towards me or not. Yeah. But I don't like seeing that because that causes conflict, constant tension, and I don't feel like hearing that, honestly.
Wow, that has to be a little challenging though. That has to be a little. So when you just kind of give us maybe, of course not names because we don't want. Just kind of give us an example maybe of a time that happened, what that scenario kind of looked like. Yeah,
of course. Okay, so it's been situations or times where a colleague will be we'll be talking and I'm happen to be sitting there and they talking to me and I can help a little bit, but I'm not that well versed, but this person has been working there for years, that kind of thing. And it was kind of the manager was always nitpicking, that kind of thing, or either putting her down or what is the word? Or give her more work to do. She's just hey, I need proper training on this in order to do that. And I was dang, that happens a lot. And I hate it because it's kind of we want to stick together, kind of thing. But I realized a lot of people had issues with her. So maybe it was a her thing. I don't know.
No, and I think that's just it's a big thing right now because some people feel like they are their job, and this is and that's where their confidence lie, and and it shouldn't be that way.
Absolutely.
Because that means you ain't important but 8 hours of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so it shouldn't be that way. And I think the younger generation is kind of taking a toll, taking a toll, or is kind of taking a beating for it. And I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right. But I think you speaking up is a great thing. Now you mentioned training and not being able to get the proper training or to make you feel trained up enough to be confident in what you are asked to do. Yeah. Now, how can you kind of talk about that a little bit? What is that?
So I actually had experiences with that as well. So like, you know, when you're supposed to go, like, you know, when you're starting a new job, you're supposed to get trained on know ins and outs, the kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think when I actually started working there, I was not trained. Like, it was kind of like I get in where I fit in kind of thing.
Gotcha.
And for me, like, you know, I learned quickly, so it's never a problem. But, you know, in order for me to do my job effectively and, you know, make sure I'm actually doing the correct things of asking 15 million questions, I need to make sure, like, you know, you're actually setting time aside to work with me and to teach me things, because I don't want to have to be like, hey, can you do another one-on-one, or can you, like, a group meeting, like, help me please, I'm drowning, like, no thank you. That is so aggravating, especially like trying to like work systems and trying to figure out what we're doing, because in the department I worked in, like, we worked in a lot of like accidents, that kind of thing, work with claims. So that's super important. I don't want to mess up anybody's stuff. I ain't trying to get fired. Like, let me know what to do. Like, please.
I mean, I could imagine that being pressure. So with the training, do you think well, before I ask that question, have you had any other issues maybe with lack of training at any other or just maybe that one particular job is kind of what you're hearing?
I would say at my first work from home job, when I do medical records, like, it was super easy. But I didn't feel like I got the proper training as well. Like, I got like the basics of it, but, you know, how to talk to different providers on the phone, or how to like get the records back, or what to say, or, you know, is there a script? Can we just kind of wing it? Like, what do you expect of me? And so, and each interview that I go in, I'm always asking, okay, what do you expect from me, and how can I succeed in this role? Like, it's not just a like a question just to ask to get hired, but I honestly wanted to know, okay, like, you know, what do you expect from me every day from 8 o'clock to whatever time I get off, you know, that kind of thing.
So and the reason why I asked that is because one of the things that statistically is out there as well is that millennials that are currently being hired are going to be fired within the first year of their job. Really within the first 6 months, but the majority of them are being fired, like 75% are being fired like within the first year of their job. And so I kind of have a theory that maybe it's because of the training or lack of training, or maybe it's also that maybe this particular generation learns differently. And so I think that there are a lot of old systems in place that are just outdated and that may not work anymore. You know, and like you got different hierarchies and all that stuff, and you know, and I think it's some of that stuff may be a little bit outdated. Especially like trying to figure out, like, you know, climb the work chain kind of thing, and who's who. That is so exhausting. Like, let me just come do my work, and I don't want to say hey to Miss Beth, like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, let me just do my work, man. Like, come on. Oh God. But you know what? I think that's good. That really opens up a lot, I believe, because you know, well, because I'm kind of that in between. Technically, I'm like on the edge of a millennial, but I'm not I forget which one is next, X or something, like above millennial. I think it's like X or something. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm like right in between. So I kind of have some characteristics of millennials, and then I have, you know, older characteristics. And because my parents are you know, boomers, you know, I kind of learned a lot of their stuff as well. But yeah, I think. I mean, just this age gap, I think, is a big deal. And now you have a lot, like back in the day, like my parents' day, like people didn't work as long as they do now. So now you have you still have boomers that are still working with Gen Z. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it causes a clash.
Yeah,
you can't do that. You can't do that.
Right, and it's just. And wow, and that could be like an economical thing. The reason they gotta work is, you know, because of economics. So, gosh, I think that's a humongous dynamic that I never really thought about. So now that we're talking about jobs and jobs, professions, all of that good stuff. So, and again, we're kind of hitting a lot on some of the things some challenges that Gen Z is having, millennials. What would you define as professionalism?
So the way I was grown and raised, kind of be, which I feel like a lot of people who's younger than me is not like, taught that. It's kind of like, like how you dress, like what you're wearing, like your hair, are you coming groomed? Are you saying yes ma'am, no ma'am? Are you asking questions? Are you following up an email? I feel like that kind of thing is kind of professionalism. Like, you can tell your personality, but make sure like you're also doing what needs to be done, like professionally wise. Like, you don't need to be like, hey, boss, like, XOXO, like, no girl, like, let's not do that. Wearing mini skirts to work. That's crazy. But like, I think it's kind of like a basic, like, well, because my parents would like in the 50s actually. So they kind of taught me how to like, how to speak, that kind of thing. Cause I talk fast. So I'm like, slow it down. Like, I'm trying my hardest, but I get so excited. Like, you get what you get at this point. Or like, make sure to advocate for yourself, ask questions, that kind of thing. And I feel like the generation, I want to say younger than me actually is not really doing that. They're kind of like coming in jeans, ripped jeans, they're, they don't know how to, as far as like do interviews. They don't know what to say to people. I'm like, yo.
That is a big challenge. Yeah, the interviewing thing. I mean, I've hit on this in previous episodes, but the interviewing thing is a big challenge because I've always been in management. I'm not currently right now on purpose. But because I'm focusing on this, but like the interviewing process, I'm like. Lie to you not. I'm lie to you not. So we at the job I'm at currently. I'm a chef at a retirement home, and so we was well, I say we, but one of our managers was getting ready to interview a young lady. We was trying to wait on her. She wait on her. She showed up late, and she came late. Showed up in pajamas, wrinkled pajamas. Her hair was all over her head, and she had bedroom shoes on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she had bedroom shoes on.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's we need to learn. Just what are your thoughts? What do you think that lack of professionalism or lack of teaching of professionalism come from, in your perspective?
I think it just came from a place of people not caring. Like,
got you.
A lot of people, don't want to work a 9 to 5, which is okay. That's cool. I'm kind of like between like, dang, do I want to do this or want to, do my follow my passions, that kind of thing, but I need money. But a lot of people just don't care. And it's just like, what, I can go somewhere else, or I can make better somewhere else, or, that, or they never been taught like, hey, like, you need to do X, Y, and Z. Because I know growing up in school, like, they made us, like, do Dress for Success. Or they made us be in these programs and stuff, like, to learn, like, proper etiquette and kind of thing. Right. Now it's kind of like, people just don't care. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I'll show up however I want to show up and get the job kind of thing. Yeah, I don't get that, honestly. Like, that's, I'm like, yo.
I think it, I think it is both. I think some people just hadn't been taught, unfortunately, and maybe some people have been taught, and they, like you said, they don't care. And I think in addition to that, I think the whole COVID thing kind of affected that as well, because I think once that happened, everybody dress kind of went down. It was
absolutely.
That was kind of like the big deal of like leisure wear. It was like, Nike, my wife actually has a friend that has a company, OTG. And that's like a really cool, like luxury, like athleisure.
Athleisure
wear. And especially hers, it's really, really comfortable. And so if I could, I would wear that all day, every day, anywhere.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Gosh.
But I, because of what I do, I can't do that. And so, I think one of the challenges I think this generation is having is being able to go indoors and out of doors. And so what I mean by that is, some doors you go in, you gotta look the part. You gotta look a particular way.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily. And I think one of the terms that I'm hearing is like this whole cookie cutter or control is one of the issues that I'm hearing, and I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think that sometimes you're supposed to look the part of the people that are in the room with you, so that you don't look less than, you know, because I mean, I've actually heard a study and read a study to where when people see you, over 50% of their brain goes into action, and what your brain does is literally judging that person with their appearance without them even opening their mouth. And so I think appearance is really, 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 really important. You know, and based upon what you're doing and things of that nature. Anything you want to say about that? Anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, actually, because like, I've seen some outfits. I'm like, yo, like, what you got on? Like, you know, I don't mean it, but it's just like, okay, you know. But like, especially like, you know, if you're trying to, especially like pursue, like, let's say, I don't know, maybe like one of those like business field or something like that. Like, you know, you want to make sure like, you know, you dress nicely, because people are going to be like, nah, she don't know what she's talking about, or okay, I can't focus on what he or she's saying because she got Nike on with a dress. Like, that is insane. Like, yo, like, the appearance part for sure, because unfortunately I do the same thing. I'm like, okay, you know, how's this person dressed today? Like, you know, even if it's something simple, like, okay, she knows she's dressed like she knows what you're talking about. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, I'm like, I don't know. You know, this person, like, for me, I like to say, you know, although I'm an adult, it's kind of like, I need an older adult, like, to help me. Because, like, if you don't look like an adult, then you can't help me. Like,
it's hilarious.
Like, no.
So, okay, let me ask you this. So now, I know you have a sister and a brother. You had a brother that ran track or runs track or something like that. Now, you're the youngest?
I'm the middle
You're the
child.
middle. Okay. Yes. Now, how much older is your sister than you?
She's 1 year younger than me.
1 year. Oh, yeah, she's 1 year younger.
Yep. And then my brother's 3 years older.
Oh, your brother's the oldest. Okay.
So I'm the middle baby.
So do you think because you're the middle baby, or you had someone come previous to you, do you think there was an advantage of you knowing some of these things? And I'm not. I have a 2-parent home too, and because you have a 2-parent home, do you think that helped with that? You think?
I think a lot actually. Now for him, it wasn't more like, you know, if you're dress wise kind of thing. Yeah. It was just more of like what to do and how to do things, and, you know, what to say to people. Right. Especially when those 2-parent household was like, you know, hey, like, you ain't go out of the house like that, or you better ask daddy, like, you know, make sure you look decent. Is to make sure your skirt touching your kneecaps, like that kind of thing. But I think that gives me like a huge advantage, because, you know, it's come from different perspectives and different like walks of life, especially you know, like him growing up. You know, in his time, I don't know what his time is, but in his time. Versus like, you know, their point of view, like, you know, from him being older, and, you know, from my dad's perspective, you know, him being a dude, I guess. So it's kind of cool to kind of get different perspectives, you know, although I may not like it in the moment, but I still respect it, because, you know, they're coming from a good place. Right.
Oh, and so now back to the workplace. Now this is one thing, because I remember you saying that, you know, you would speak up for yourself, you know, if you see something or someone's treating you wrong. That, you know, that is one of the challenges that I think a lot of sometimes that younger people can be intimidated by. What are maybe some tips or hacks or whatever you can kind of throw out there to help them to be able to not just like be ready to, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, because I'm gonna be honest, sometimes, I mean, I'm gonna come behind you, but, you know, sometimes I can feel some kind of way. But when I'm at work, I know I can't. You know, so maybe throw some tips or hacks out there.
Yeah, of course. So ironically, like, I wasn't always like that. Like, I used to be super shy. Like me actually speaking out, like even doing this podcast, I would have never done that. I used to be super shy, like very soft spoken. I think it kind of switched at one point. I'm like, hey, you know, I don't like that. Like. So kind of a tip for me is just kind of like maybe taking the person to a side, like, hey, you know, I feel this kind of way, you know, I don't appreciate, or, you know, I feel like this could be done in a different way, that kind of thing. So my approach is making sure it's not like an immediately kind of tagging kind of thing, but maybe like, I would say maybe constructive criticism, or maybe like expressing how I feel, because even like, you know, with my little like healing journey, because buddy, like healing journey, and figure out who I am as a person. I've realized like hey, I'm important to you, and my feelings are important. Like what I say matters, especially like how I'm feeling, that kind of thing. And so kind of translating to the workplace, I'm just like yes, I need help with this. Are you able to help me? Or hey, I feel like I could use more what is word? Not training, but more feedback in this area. Or
right.
Hey, I've saw that this or that happened with this person. So is that supposed to, like, is this the way things go? Or like, can you explain to me why you did that? So kind of, I guess, making it like a softer approach, because people can be very aggressive, and all of a sudden there's no confrontation.
Right.
And I don't like confrontation.
Right.
I have no gray area. It's like I'm super sweet, or like I'm up there. So finding a middle ground is like super important. Like make it just be nice with your approach. You don't gotta be angry with it or
right. And so I totally agree with that. But now. Now I'm going to speak from the perspective of a guy, because I'm going to be honest. A lot of guys will kind of hold back, explode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we can't do that, especially in the workplace, because you going to jail. But
y'all go up there real quick.
You going to jail, and so I would always suggest maybe one time. Maybe allow them to correct it or whatever that thing may be. If they don't, and if they come at you again with the same issue, then hey, mention that. Because if you don't mention or say something about it, you're going to continue to build up pressure, especially as a dude. And so it's always smart to allow it to come out slowly versus quickly, because that you can take yourself to a point to where no return, what I'm saying? So I think it is really okay to, even if the person's older, you don't want to call them out, don't want to make them look bad, because the goal of what you're doing isn't to make someone look bad.
Absolutely.
The goal of what you're doing is to train them how to treat you, because even though you're in the workplace, you're training for a job, but whatever you do, wherever you go in life, we should always be training people how to treat us.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I actually got that from someone, but we train people how to treat us, because if not, you're always going to be mistreated, especially even in relationships where with people and with a significant other. You know what I'm saying? That can happen. And one thing about a marriage, you're doing this every day, every day, and so. I'm gonna be honest. My wife has taught me, because I'm showing her how I like to be treated.
I love that.
I say that. Yeah. I say it that way. So speaking of relationships, are you currently in relationships?
No, no, I am single.
Okay, because I heard you say healing journey.
Ooh, buddy, I'm single. But I think it's probably good for me to be single at the moment.
Got you.
I place like boundaries and what I would tolerate and what I won't tolerate.
Got you.
And when those boundaries are crossed and something I don't agree with, or I'm like, what, you have until X, Y, and Z to have a plan. Because for me, especially see my parents, the kind of thing. I've seen my dad take control and take lead and take charge and stuff.
Right.
So for me, if you don't have a plan for where we're going and kind of thing, or if you don't have a plan or ambitious for your own self, that kind of thing, or if you can't take lead, and I can't be comfortable trusting for you to take lead. I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned about myself, kind of thing. And so on this little healing journey, I'm just figuring out what I do like, what I don't like, figure out my boundaries, and how far I'm willing to take things, how far I'm willing to be taken. And it's not even that, it's also looking at myself, okay, are there things that I can change differently? Are there things I'm doing wrong, I have no business doing too. Right. So it's not always on the other person, it's also on me.
Right. And I would love for more young people to be able to even think that way. Because we hear so many different things, and we hear that this relationship should be different. I just say that to keep it clean, but I just think the bottom line of a relationship is, which I know this isn't a popular opinion. I do believe that in a marriage, well, let me back up.
Yeah.
I think that a man should always show leadership qualities. I don't think that now before marriage, he may not have the authority or the right to lead a woman technically, but he needs to be able to have leadership qualities. And I think another unpopular opinion, and I think as a female, I think a female should exploit characteristics of being able to follow and walk alongside.
Yeah.
Because if you want your man to be a leader, both of y'all can't be focusing on trying to lead, because it's going to be a clash. You know what I'm saying? So and when I say a man, I'll use this as an example. I'm the leader of my family. I work. I do my job to make sure that my family is provided for. But my wife manages the finances. So traditionally, most traditional marriages, it's not that way. It's I make the money, I manage the money. But oh Lord, I hit my mic. But I know my strengths. I'm finances. I'm good with the basics, but we got so many subscriptions and things going on right now that it's beyond my skill level of being excellent. I'll say it that way.
Absolutely.
And so my wife, she's really detailed. So hey honey, you better at this, take this over. So I think men need to be able to lead. And when I say lead, that doesn't mean dominate. That doesn't mean bully. That means be able to say, hey, this is where we're going. This is how we're getting there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I just wish it was a little bit more of those characteristics and more of that I just wish more of that will be taught and received. Because that's a little bit of an issue right now.
Ooh, buddy, I think like what you said, my dad and my mom was the same thing kind of thing. And so I'm growing up seeing that. I'm like, okay, like, I'm seeing this, but out here in the streets, it's a little different, and it's so different. And people, especially women, like maybe grow up, single mom household, that kind of thing. They have to watch their mom do everything, and for them in their mind it's like, okay, well, I've seen her do it, so I got to do it the same way as well. And maybe for the guys and stuff, maybe not having their father present, so that can be a huge issue, with broken homes, and kind of thing. It's kind of hard. And so I feel like everybody wants like the social media kind of thing, or it's a fast love kind of thing. It's like that's not how it works necessarily.
It's not. Yeah. And so and so I think, especially today, we got to unlearn some things so that we can even learn some things, But no, that's good, Myia. So awesome job, girl. You killed this thing, man. Like bars on top of bars on top of bars.
Listen, I was like, I'm a wing it.
Yeah, you're like a natural girl. I mean,
I'm a natural yapper. That's what it is. Yeah.
That is funny. So tell us a little bit about who you are, what you got going on, what do you do,
cool.
all of this good stuff.
Okay, what do I do? Lord, listen. What do I do? Okay.
Well, I can't answer that for you. But I know that you're like a leader in ministry.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So besides being a natural born yapper, I'm recently actually in our young adults program from Antioch AB Zion Church, Eastover, South Carolina. If you guys ever want to come and worship with us. Yeah, awesome. Locally, I guess it's just like a district level, conference level, and AB Zion conference and kind of thing. Okay. So locally, I'm over the young adults in my church. Oh, awesome. And districtly, like over, I want to say the Columbia and Spartanburg district, of AB Zion Church. I'm over the young adults as well. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. So this year I'm really focusing on having real life conversations with everybody, because people can always be like, oh, is this in the Bible? This and that. But you have to relate it to what we're going through today and kind of bring it back, in a circle. So I'm trying to make space, make room for like those vulnerable conversations. As well as, trying to switch up a little bit, do something different. I would say, because I don't like being in meetings for like 7-8 hours plus. It's crazy. I got a short attention span, so make sure when I'm teaching or when I'm talking or I'm having activities with like my young adults is making sure like it's impactful,
right?
It's on time because a certain time limit, and then kind of follow up the kind of thing.
No, that's good. That's awesome. So I mean, I know like I said, you were a great young lady when we worked together at Chick-fil-A. One of my favorite little songbirds. And so, but no, that's awesome. But yeah, you're a great young lady, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Practical Independence, dropping bars on bars is what you did. So, well, thank you so much, Myia, and we would love to see you back again.
Of course.
Thank y'all so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you on the next go round.
Bye.